Hello everyone, this is Ellis Clark Kent 434, and today I'm doing another weapon reviews. Will be doing the M60E4, another second assault, and this is another weapon I mentioned back when I was doing the 34 damage weapon models, the heavy hitters. That there's a couple LMGs that actually also fit in that category. So I decided, I'm going to start reviewing some of those, and this is one of them. And what makes these different than those? We're going to talk about them. I will be going to some of the other ones. I'm just going to be reviewing this one today. And looking at the stats at the M60, the max damage starts off at 34. The minimum damage is 25. Drop off starts at 8 meters. It ends at 75 meters. Fire rate is 570 rounds per minute. Muzzle velocity is 560. Muzzle velocity suppressed is 310. Bullet drop off 15 meters per second. Magazine size is 100 rounds. Getting to the reloads, bullets left and empty are both 7.8 seconds. And now getting down to the recoil of this gun. Recoil is upward of a 0.6, recoil to the left of 0.4, and recoil to the right of a 0.3. The first shot multiplier is a 0.5, and the spread of this weapon is it increases at a 0.11. Aim down sight accuracy is a 0.3, and while moving is a staggering 2. Hip fire is a 5.25. So that is the basic stats of the M60E4. Now you're saying, okay, so this is similar to the other heavy hitters, right? Now the M60 is considered a general purpose machine gun, a GPMG, and like I said, it fires a larger caliber, so that's why DICE gave it the 34 damage model. But why is this different than the other ones I reviewed, the Scar H, the H52, and the UMP4? Well, the LMGs have a lot of different characteristics than those, the ones I reviewed. I mean, those were more rifles and submachine guns and carbine. The LMGs, the first thing they get is their magazine size. They usually have a very large magazine size. The M60, without doubt, has a 100 round magazine. And when you'll see with the other two LMGs that do 34 damage, the PKP and 240 Bravo, you'll see that they also have a large magazine size. That's the first thing what makes them different compared to the other 34 damage, the more rifle variants. The next thing is LMGs, the 34 damage models, LMGs in general, they get a higher suppression model. And I haven't done a suppression video, but I will be having one come up very soon, so watch my channel. And suppression, the way it works is it increases your upward recoil by 50% and your side-to-side recoil by 25%. And so when you're suppressed, and that's at maximum suppression, your recoil patterns get increased substantially. The 50% upwards and the 25 increase the side to side. And so that is quite a bit of recoil increase. It makes, a lot of guns a lot more harder to fire, a little bit more difficult to sustain. And the LMGs get a higher suppression ratio than most guns, so they're going to get a little bit more. They get a 10% additional, so theirs is 60% upwards and 35% on either side. So they even have a greater amount than anyone else, and they can get an additional 50% if the support class is running one of his field upgrades. So that's another thing that they get. And probably the biggest thing about LMGs, and this has got to be noted, is their aim down sight accuracy. The aim down sight of most LMGs is around a 3, but when they start moving, it goes to a staggering 2. basically the way to look at it is it goes from the accuracy goes from maybe like a golf ball size to a giant barn size. So I shouldn't say barn size. I should say more like shotgun pellets. So you go from shooting a tight group size of a golf ball to shooting basically like shooting out shotgun pellets. Your accuracy just goes crazy. So the best thing for LMGs is to stop and shoot, stop and shoot. And you know, as other Battlefield players, and you see this from pro players, they say stop and pop, because you want to stop and then you want to pop that target. And this is really, it's a good target to do with about any guns, but LMGs especially. So this is another characteristic of LMGs, and that's what sets it apart, mainly the 34 damage model LMG compared to the other ones. And those are obviously in the M60, as you see it with the 3-point aim down sight accuracy, and goes to a staggering 2. And so that's, you know, the magazine size of 100, you know. So these are definitely in the M60. Now, the M60 has a minimum damage of 25. That's wonderful. Has a drop off of 75 meters. It's incredibly long. Incredibly long. One benefit of this over, I would say, some of the other 34 damage is it has a higher muzzle velocity. And all those, that's a really great benefit that you do get as well, compared to the other 34 damage model rifle, carbines, and submachine guns, the ones I reviewed all together. They have a lower muzzle velocity compared to the LMG variants. And that's kind of because it's just the way they are. The LMGs are not meant to be so much aggressive. Well, there is one gun that is exception. It's the 240, and we'll talk about that later. But these are more built for mid to long range engagements, and the M60, its primary role is long range engagement. Without exception, it is probably the best at long range engagement, being a 34 damage model weapon. It really starts to excel if you look at its damage model of bullets to distance ratio beyond 50 meters. Closer than 50 meters, is it good? It can work, but you need to be pinpoint accurate, not moving and being really that accurate. Yes, it'll work, but it's not that effective. I made it work on several domination games, but I will tell you, I got outgunned about everything. I mean, I even got outgunned probably by some wet noodles even. I mean, it was really tough. It was really, really tough. It's not an easy gun. Probably the best benefit for this gun is the recoil. Now, I will say, this doesn't maybe necessarily have the best... I wouldn't say necessarily has the lowest recoil compared to the other 34 damage model LMGs, but it has the most manageable, and that's just something that due to the it's the rate of fire what makes it more manageable compared to really the it's compared to other LMGs, and just the way it is. And then there's not much. You have to look at it as basically your recoil pattern for this. Is a 6 up, 4 left, and 3 to the right. That's not really the PKP is probably the close competitor. It has a 5 up and it has 4 and 4, but the thing is, when you have, because of the M60 has a very slow rate of fire, it has the slowest of any gun in the game, has a 570. When you have a slower rate of fire, that means you have slower triggering of the recoil. You got to think of higher rate of fire, faster the recoil, because every time a bullet is being fired, the gun re-simulates that recoil pattern. It re-simulates. So every time a bullet passes, it's resimulating. So if you have a slower rate of fire, it's simulating the recoil pattern a lot less. And so with this, The recoil pattern is just a tad bit higher than the PKP, which is another 34 damage model weapon, but because it has a slower rate of fire than the PKP, it makes it more manageable. It's really easy to control. So, and it's just a phenomenal weapon. The first shot multiplier on this is a 0.5. It's on par with the 240 Bravo. It's the lowest first shot multiplier in the game, so making this weapon amazing for burst fire. So that's where, with the slow rate of fire and the low first shot multiplier, this thing is awesome to burst and hitting those long range shots. And if you know anything about LMGs, burst fire is the name of the game. It always has been and always will be. I mean, for medium range shots, you do a burst fire, and for long range shots, you do a micro burst, even a smaller burst than the medium range shots, maybe 1 to 2 bullets as opposed to 3 to 4 for the medium range. And it's just this thing, because the high damage model, it's just wonderful. I mean, you got a minimum damage of 25, so those long range shots, you only need 4 bullets to kill a person, and it goes out to 75 meters, so you have a great damage model over range. It's so easy to take targets. I found it very useful to put a 3-time scope and just run around and drop down, put my bipod out, and just tap 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 and take out targets. It's a great way to counter snipers. So the M60 really does shine with long range firepower. It is the long range counter sniper in my eyes. It's just a long range hitter. You gotta watch it in the close range firefights. So that is the review on the M60. I would appreciate, guys, if you leave a comment if you got something to say about it. If you're new to my channel, subscribe would be great. As always, leave a thumbs up or thumbs down. Tell me if you like it or not. And I will catch you guys later on the battlefield. Bye.